stopped me. He stopped me right in my tracks.
They're working on the GED. They have to have a certain amount of points, at least 245 on each subject. The answer would be right back up here in that paragraph. He used to get an attitude with me when he first came here because I stayed on his case.
Sometimes people like me need people stay on my case, keep me in the right direction.
We're here to give a lot of nurturing. We're here to give a lot of advice. We have a shoulder for them to lean on when they need us.
I got you,
Some of them have very, very bad or very harsh lives they have led. And we sort of listen. You're old enough to do it. When I see my kids come in here and yell and scream and say, Nana, I made it. And they come and want to hug you and say thank you, that's when I feel good. That is an accomplishment.
40% of fourth graders can't read at grade level. 10.5 million American families don't know where their next meal is coming from. And far too many children suffer from neglect and abuse. Foster grandparents have a special role in the lives of our young people. They use their skills and experience to support our most precious resource, our children.
I don't know, some kind of magical, mystical intuition that a grandparent has. They can just tune in immediately on a child's need. And our children have multiple needs. Grandparents just somehow have a way of understanding that child's needs, talking to them, and making them feel good about themselves. I don't know how they do it.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth.
I am a foster grandmother, and I work with sixth grade kids. And it's just to help them with their reading and their comprehension and help them when they stumble over their words.
That means when somebody, it's like when they're clapping. I have a lot of mistakes when I read, so it's good to have somebody help me read. I'm getting better. I'm getting better grades in school and stuff now.
When my kids were little and I was little, we had grandparents and aunts and uncles and everything around, but the kids nowadays don't have that. Being a foster grandparent helps me to pass on to future generations the joy of reading.
It gives me an opportunity to take my talent and pass it on to the kids. And I love them all. They're all my kids. That's why they call me Grandpa.
I've been a foster grandparent for 17 years, and I work in a group home with the ages of the boys from 15 to 20. Years ago, I had a problem with drinking, and a lot of people helped me. And I said that, well, when I got my life straightened out, I said, I'm gonna give it back to the community. Briefly, what I do, I go in, and as you would say, counsel the boys. Their background is from broken homes. Sometimes at home, when the father's not there, that's a problem too. They don't have a man to go and tell the problems to.
Good morning, Grandpa. How you doing? Great. All right.
When the one has left and called me back, I said that I'm doing all right.
Thank you very much.
That makes me feel good, make me feel that I did something for him.
I've been a foster grandmother for 8 years. When I first came in, I looked at the whole school, children, and I said, oh, no, you know, even after being a nurse. But then once you get into your classroom, you get to know those students, the children, and nothing will make you move. When I first saw JC, he really wasn't doing anything, and he couldn't walk. He was just, his knees was bent. Let's go. So you have to stay here because you see the progress, you know. Say, good boy, come on. The program is beautiful program. Push it, push. Why stay in your house when you can go and put a few hours taking care of a little child, which without you probably would just sit? And when you see the progress you have made, maybe a year, oh, you're so proud of that, and you're proud of yourself. You said, I did it. I think every person, a senior, they should volunteer because there's so many things out here that need help.
It's very exciting to think that you're changing the world.
If we don't do it, it's not going to be done.
I've got so much in all my life. I've gotten so much from life, and I think I can give back a little bit now for a few more years until however long I last.
Today's seniors are a vital, vibrant solution to the difficult problems our country faces. There are 33 million older people in America, more than ever before. And there will be twice as many by the time our grandchildren grow up. We are strong and independent, with the wisdom to change things, like helping tutor the millions of people who cannot read, helping feed those who go to bed hungry, and helping children learn so they're ready to succeed in this world.
More enthusiasm.
The world can be hard, but we can make it better. We can give. We can inspire. We can lead. We can truly make a difference.
When my kids were little and I was little, we had grandparents and aunts and uncles and everything around, but the kids nowadays don't have that.
That's right.
Being a foster grandparent helps me to pass on to future generation the joy of reading.
I don't know, some kind of magical, mystical intuition that a grandparent has. They can just tune in immediately on a child's need. And our children have multiple needs. Grandparents just somehow have a way of understanding that child's needs, talking to them, and making them feel good about themselves. I don't know how they do it.
We're here to give a lot of nurturing. We're here to give a lot of advice. We have a shoulder for them to listen to lean on when they need us. You know, no one is immune to a personal problem. And sometimes, even you can't, when you're a little girl, you couldn't talk to your parents. And this is where Grandma comes in. So what I'm doing now, I'm giving back. I'm trying to give back, to pay back for some of the things that society has done for me.
Senior companion is a senior person usually who visits other seniors, although the one that's visiting is a little more mobile. He gets around, the other ones don't. The other ones are generally housebound pretty much, and they don't get out to meet people. They don't get out to have some human contact. So we go and visit them maybe once or twice a week for a few hours and just talk, ordinary chatting, take them shopping if necessary, or help them pick up their medications from the drugstore or something like that. We also keep an eye on whether or not they're taking their medications and how their general well-being is, how their emotional and physical well-being. And it's the simplest job in the world. It's just being a friend to somebody is what it amounts to, essentially.
Well, it's hard to decide who gets the most out of it. It keeps the senior companion as well as the client active. It makes the client feel as if they're not isolated. It prevents premature institutionalization. But for the senior companion, it allows them to help someone else who could be them in a few years.
I try to do it because I know my mother's 89 years old and somebody might have to help her. And when, well, I'm getting up in age and I don't believe in telling people how young I am, but I'm gonna get older and I would want somebody to help me like I'm helping these people.
The Retired Senior Volunteer Program, which is called RSVP, is a program for seniors 55 and over. The idea actually when it was first formed was that retired folks have so much interest and maturity and experience to give back.
When RSVP called me up, I answered the call and it was the best day of my life because I just beginning new life, I'm getting younger and younger.
Without the resources of the wisdom that seniors have in our communities, many things wouldn't operate at all.
The senior volunteers with RSVP give so much back. The value of that resource is just beyond measure.
We work with schools, tutoring, hospitals, libraries.
Working with homeless people, working with police departments, crisis clinics, just all over.
Last year, we delivered 521 tons of food. Without the volunteers, it would just, you know, dry up and fall off and be a waste.
That's it. Get heavy, huh? Yeah, we do. Okay. Thanks a lot.
We're basically eyes and ears for the deputies. We patrol the neighborhoods throughout the county area here every day. And if we see some problems, we get on our radios and report it.
I'm making my mark with one kid at a time.
I'm making my mark.
Estoy dejando una marca.
I'm making my mark.
I am making my mark.
I'm making my mark.
I'm making my mark.
Senior volunteers, we're part of the solution.